Did you think getting better at chess was going to be easy? I did. I studied openings, watched a bunch of videos, and played thousands of games. And eventually, I saw real progress. My rating climbed, I won a few tournaments, and I was even beating players over the board that were a couple hundred points higher than me. But I'm not gonna lie, it was a struggle. And honestly, I wish I had been much smarter with the way I trained. I could have saved myself so much time, stress, and frustration. So to make your chess journey 10 times smoother and help you avoid the mistakes that held me back for years, here are 25 brutal truths about chess improvement that I wish I had known a lot sooner. Lesson 1, you don't know as much as you think. We all know that guy who swears they could have made the NBA if they were like 2 inches taller. We all know what we think of that guy, right? Don't be that guy. The same can really be said about your chess now. You're not an expert. There is no excuse for why you're not as good as you think you are or why you keep losing elo points. Accept it. It is what it is. It's important that you stay humble, acknowledge where you are currently, because only from there can you actually improve. On top of that, you're able to learn something from people of all elo ranges. I've been able to learn from people that were hundreds of points lower than me, and I've been able to teach things to people that were much higher than me. Respect the fact that everybody's in a different path and everybody knows different things. Promise you, it will save you in the future. Lesson 2, learn how to analyze games properly. Back when I was first taking my chess improvement a lot seriously, I used to analyze my games by just flying through the game review. I had to go through, see what mistakes I made, had the engine tell me what the correct variation would have been, and thought I was doing everything right. Wrong though. One day I was actually able to get a chess coach who was able to show me the proper way to analyze my games. At first I thought it would have been just as quick, we can get through a game in 5 minutes. We sat down and we did one game over like 30 minutes. And this was a game I didn't think there was anything to learn from because I won. He broke everything down, move by move. When I tell you, I learned so much. He had me explain every move I made, thought by thought, and I was able to learn so much from that experience because I was able to break down the mistakes that I made, help me break down how I can avoid those mistakes in the future. So what can we learn from this? Real improvement only starts when you understand why a move does or doesn't work. And the only way for you to do that is to slow down and use your own brain to figure that out for yourself. Yes, you can use the engine for help, but it can't find every move for you. That's gotta be you. Lesson number 3, practice makes permanent. Going back to the previous lesson, this was an extremely hard habit to break. If you're practicing bad habits, you're gonna see those same issues come up whenever you're actually in the game. Lesson number 4, focus on not blundering. That alone can get you past 1500 elo. When I first got back into chess, I understood that it would take me a little while before I was actually able to get back on the horse, get back through everything, and be smooth at it. One of the things that I'm really glad that I was able to hone in on from the beginning was to focus on minimizing my own mistakes. Because of this, when I was actually able to figure that out, I was able to go from the 1200 ranks all the way up to 1600 relatively quick. Now, if you look at my Road to 2000 elo games, you can definitely see a fluctuation. But when I did figure it out, it was smooth sailing from there, and I really haven't gone back since. With all that being said, the same can apply to you. Focus on keeping all your pieces on the board, and make sure you capitalize on when your opponent leaves a piece hanging. From there, you're going to get to 1500 in no time, and that's when you can start worrying about the other things. Lesson number 5. Everyone will make mistakes, including you. Learn that and move on. I'm an extremely competitive person. I'm the type of guy where I want to win everything that I do. With that being said, I hate when I lose, and I hate when I lose, especially from a mistake that I know was preventable. This type of thinking is what held me back for years, and not only in my chess improvement, but just about everything I did, from sports to academics. At the end of the day, we're all human. Humans are imperfect beings, right? You just have to accept that. While we do the best we can to minimize our mistakes through practice and repetition, we're not going to get it right every time. As soon as you start messing up, if you start spiraling out of control, things are just going to get significantly worse. With that being said, the same can be said for your opponents now. They will make mistakes. You just have to be ready for it and be expecting it. Through every single move that you're playing in a chess match, take the time and don't give your opponent the benefit of the doubt that they're playing the best move. They're likely not. You're going to win a lot of games from this one. Lesson number 6, tilt is real. Take breaks when you need it. I got a whole video dedicated to this one, so I'm really not going to speak on this too much, but I mean, for real, take your breaks. Take your breaks. Seriously. There is nothing worse than losing 100 elo points from something that is 100% preventable. You're not always at your best. Whenever you're starting to spiral out of control and your emotions are getting a little high, your chess elo is going to go low, okay? Take your breaks. Got a whole video about that. It should be somewhere up here. Go check that out. Lesson number 7. Playing out completely losing positions helps build resilience and save your elo. Just this morning, I was playing a game where I was down a queen, a rook, and I had like one other piece on the board. I was completely cooked, okay? And I'm competing at like the 1500 blitz level, okay? So these are supposedly really good players, right? But you know me, I say never resign. Got a whole bunch of videos on that too, you should check them out. But never resign, right? So I continued to play out the game. I could tell my opponent was getting frustrated because they were taking longer and longer on every single move, and it was getting kind of crazy. Long story short, I ended up winning the game, and I got to save myself 8 elo points, right? And this all could have never happened had I just resigned. And trust me, I thought about it, but I had to remember, I got to learn how to play at these losing positions. Even if I wouldn't have won, I would have learned at least how to play out a losing position. I would have learned how to defend from positions that seem hopeless. Like, these are all valuable skills that I just need to have. Play out every game. If you're going to spend the time to start up a game, finish the game. Lesson 8, learn basic tactics. This will take you to the advanced levels. I'm no chess expert, and I'm never going to claim to be one, but I am better than most people out there, right? Something that I cannot stress enough with just about anything you do. I feel like I have the qualifications because I'm pretty good at both chess and soccer. But being a master at the basics is what will take you super far. When it comes to soccer, being able to pass with both your left foot, your right foot, that will do you good. When it comes to chess, being able to find simple tactics, that will take you further than you ever need to go. Practice the basics, that will get you good. Promise. Lesson number 9, the engine is not the final judge. Practical understanding is much more important. Lots of times the engine is going to spit out a bunch of best moves that make absolutely no sense. Even if they do make sense to like a grandmaster, if it doesn't actually make sense to you, it really doesn't matter. Sometimes whenever I'm analyzing my games by hand, I'll go back, find improvements that I know I can make, and when I check the eval bar or I check the engine, it's not necessarily the best move, but it might be like the second or third. To me, that's still a win. It's a really good move that I was able to find, and better yet, I was able to understand and explain. If I had just tried to play the engine move that I don't understand, I could be entering a line of only moves, and if I miss one time, I'm ending up in a horrible position. It's better to just play moves that you completely understand and that you know are still good for you. Lesson number 10, learn from your online insights. The other day, I was going through my chess.com insights and I found out that I was hanging a bunch of pawns. It wasn't always getting taken, but I was still leaving them up for capture. Had I not gone back and checked this, I might have not known that this was an issue. Of course, I'm going back and analyzing my games, and I see them here and there, but in my mind, I might be analyzing these games days apart. I'm not putting together that this is a recurring issue. With chess.com insights or even Lead Chess insights, you're able to see your full scale of what's going on and you're able to adjust from there. Having that macro picture of where your chess is at is a great way to improve your game. Lesson number 11, the way to beat stronger opponents is to complicate the game. Back when I played in the St. Joseph Open where I won first place, I had to play against somebody that was almost 200 points higher than me. I was scared, I'm not even gonna lie. But then I remembered, they're also human. The only way I was able to beat them was to keep all my pieces on the board and to just play solid, right? But I also kind of kept the game a little bit complicated. I didn't just play like a drawish line or something like that, because they were gonna outplay me in the end game that was pretty cut and dry. By keeping as many pieces on the board and keeping as much tension on the board, I was able to play until my opponent blundered. Just because of the chaos of the board, they had to remember every single move, what piece was where, and how they all coordinated. And also, the pressure was not on me. The pressure was on him to win. The worst case scenario was that I lose, and that was to be expected. The worst case scenario for him is that he loses, and that's not to be expected, so it's an even bigger downfall. When you're playing against somebody that's much higher rated than you, there is no pressure on you. But keep the game complicated, and that gives you a fighting chance. Lesson number 12, understand your openings, don't just memorize them. I myself am extremely guilty of this, and it hurt me for the longest time. For me, I'm an E4 Vienna player. I used to just go get the Gotham chess course, go look at the lines, memorize them, and I skipped over all of understanding why a piece moves there. And this would hurt me as soon as I was out of theory. Even now, I'm still trying to recover from this a little bit. Go ahead, say hi to the camera real quick. Although they can't see you. Had I gone back and taken the time to understand why every piece moved to the square that it went to, I would have been in much better positions. Because even though I didn't remember what the best move is, my general understanding of the opening could have carried me through. Lesson number 13. Chess is the only game where you can be winning for the entire game and still lose. Going back to my never resign thing, this is so true. I was losing the entire game of the one I was telling you about earlier. I had no business winning, of course. If this was a soccer match and you were to see the possession chart, it would have been 95% to 5%, right? Of course the team with 5% is supposed to lose. Chess is the only one where that doesn't happen. You can blunder mate in one at any point, as long as there's a piece on the board, or even a pawn sometimes. It's possible. Play it out, but also if you're on the winning end of this, you have to play out every single game. There is no slacking off, because all it takes is one bad move and you're gone. This isn't like basketball where you need a bunch of points to catch up. One mistake, game could be over. Lesson number 14. You will lose, and that's just part of the process. Losing is inevitable. There's no other way to put it. You will lose. I have lost a lot of games in my life, and because of that, I have gotten so much better. If someone were to pull you aside and say, hey, you are 1,000 losses away from getting to your desired elo, what would you do? You would play a lot more games, right? Same thing goes here. You can't just be afraid because you start losing a game that you're not going to want to play anymore. It's not how it works. You need to make the mistakes, and you need to learn from those mistakes before you're actually able to improve. Play those games, take those L's, learn from those L's, and you're going to grow so much more. Lesson number 15. If you're unsure, play simple developing moves. I cannot count how many times with the black pieces I've gone into an opening that I don't know anything of and I've been able to get away from just by following this simple principle. Chess is an extremely simple game. You develop your pieces, you get your king to safety, you then start an attack, right? You cannot do these things really out of order though, especially if you don't know what you're doing. If your opponent's playing something that you don't know, throw out your knights, throw out your bishop, get your king to safety, figure it out from there. I guarantee you, you're probably playing into some line of the opening at that point. Doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this out. Just develop those pieces and get your king out of the center ASAP. Lesson number 16. Calculate the impossible moves. They just might be real. I remember one time I was analyzing with the engine and I got this really weird recommendation that I should have played the queen takes some pawn, sacrifice my queen for almost seemingly nothing. I didn't have as many pieces in attack and it made no sense to me. And during the game, I considered it for like 1 second. I was like, that's stupid. Why would I give my queen up for a pawn? Turns out, if I would have just taken a little bit more time to like look at the engine, or not even look at the engine, but if I would have taken just a little bit more time to look and calculate through all the moves, I would have found that there was checkmate in 4. Now, this is not something that's like super uncommon. Like this happens, and I guarantee at least 1 out of your next 10 games where a sacrifice or a move that seems genuinely impossible is possible because of, hardcore calculation. With that being said, don't just throw your pieces at the opponent. That's not how that works. Calculate through the moves, even the ones that don't seem possible. You might just find something that happens to work out. Lesson number 17. Not all threats need to be addressed. I'm not even gonna lie, this is something I still struggle with today. Whenever I see a piece of mine being attacked, my first thought is always to defend it, right? That might be by protecting it with another piece, another pawn. It could also mean protecting it by just moving it backwards. And something I've learned from watching Grandmaster Igor from Remote Chess Academy and all these other players that are doing really good, they look first to counterattack. You want to put your opponent on the ropes. You don't want to be on the ropes. And this is something that I have been able to somewhat implement a little bit, not much. But when I do, it works. You just have to get out of that mindset of I always have to defend. I have to be scared. Go and attack your opponent. Danger levels. Is this always going to work for every situation? Of course not. But consider it. Consider hey, my rook's being attacked. Is there a move where I can put my piece on my opponent's side of the board? I can attack something else where I can gain that tempo and then eventually get out and be in an even better position. Lesson number 18. Sacrifices must lead to overwhelming positions or have a clear advantage. Now, this is something I don't actually struggle with myself, to be completely honest, because I don't sacrifice, which is actually another issue in itself, but we'll get to that another day. But I do see a lot of times when I'm playing my opponents, they'll sacrifice a piece because it kind of feels good. Chess is not a game of feeling, and you're not good enough to have a good feeling, right? Take your time, calculate it out. Even if you don't see checkmate, if you have such a good position, it's in wraps, you'll know if you're 100% sure, go for it, but calculate it out. Make sure you have a good position after all lines, because sacrificing a piece is it's not light. You're giving a piece for, maybe a pawn or two. Calculate it all the way out. Lesson number 19. Piece activities can sometimes mean more than just material. The amount of times I've seen an engine line or a grandmaster analysis where they'll sacrifice a pawn just to clear up the board for their pieces and they're in a losing position, or even they'll sacrifice an exchange because the knights are much more powerful than the rooks, something like that. Piece activity matters. Like, it does not matter if your rook is worth 5 points if it can't do anything, you know what I mean? Think about your pieces more than just the points they're worth and more for what they can actually do for you, especially in the end games. Lesson number 20. Learn to play in silence and learn how to manage your nerves. If you're an over-the-board player, you know this, and if you're not an over-the-board player, you should probably learn this because it could help you with your online games and if you choose to go over the board. It is a skill to be able to think in silence. Like, we live in the day and age where, like, you always have your phone, you always have music playing, and I'm guilty of this myself because I love music. I play with music. But in a tournament, you're not going to have that with you. Like, learn how to sit in silence. Sometimes I know people who, like, they can't. They just physically cannot. And it makes it really difficult to play chess because, like, it's just you and your thoughts. Like, you're not talking to your opponent. It's not like, you know, basketball or soccer, we could trash talk or anything like that. Like, it's just silence. You have to be able to sit in silence. It's a skill. It really is. And you just got to practice it. If you're playing a rapid game, turn off all distractions, turn off the TV. Like, go sit in a dark room, go sit in a corner, go do your thing. Practice it. It will help you. Lesson number 21. Go play over the board. It's a different and sometimes even better learning experience. I can tell you right now, I play significantly better over the board than I do online. I don't know why, but seeing the pieces in front of me, not, you know, having everything within one view sight and being able to, like, contextualize the board is just such a game changer for me. I don't know what it is, but playing over the board, like, you have to calculate it all. You don't have the arrows. It's just, you feel more in one. I can't tell you really the technical terms of why this works, but I can promise you there's a reason why grandmasters train over the board. Not just because they play over the board, but, like, it really does help sometimes. But go try it. Go get a physical chessboard, have no engine with you, and go look at the moves, play them out, find out what you could do better. Like, that's the way to really go about chess improvement. Lesson number 22. Don't play too fast. Speed is a very hard habit to break. Going back to one of my earlier lessons, I talk about how building bad habits is, like, not a good thing and how it's really hard to break. Speed is a killer one. This is something I struggle with to this day. I play a lot of blitz and bullet. I have bad habits. What can I say? When you start doing that, man, like, you're cooked. Like, especially if you go into like a longer time control game. Like, I played in a 45-minute plus 15. Like, I was struggling because I was used to playing too fast, and when I tried to slow down, I slowed down way too much. Your chess game shouldn't be impacted by things that don't have to do with chess. Play the longer time controls. Learn how to manage your time and just do it right the first time. Don't get to this point where you're cooked and you're trying to recover. Just do it right the first time. Lesson number 23. King activity wins endgames. Unlike the opening and the middle game where you just gotta protect your king and all that, the end game, there's no pieces on the board to checkmate you. Get that bad boy out there, okay? Your king is a very powerful piece, believe it or not, and it can be really, really useful. It can help assist your pawns and help you eventually promote. I can promise you right now, every endgame video or book you're gonna read or watch is gonna tell you to get that king out there. So just go ahead and do it. Get it to the center of the board if you can. It has more access to everything. And if you can get your king more active than your opponents, I guarantee you, you're gonna win. Lesson number 24, and probably my favorite, teach others. I coach soccer. That's one of my things. When I hopped into coaching, I was scared out of my mind because I had never coached before. I didn't know what I was doing. But I can tell you right now, I have learned more about soccer in the past 3 years of coaching than I think I had in my entire college experience. Why? Because when I'm forced to teach other people about things, I have to learn it at a deeper level myself. And I cannot stress enough how life-changing this is. Like, when you're forced to teach other people, you have to learn. If you care, of course, there's always bad teachers, but if you care about giving the best education to somebody else, you will be gone into overdrive of learning modes. And I promise you, just try. Go teach somebody else about chess. For myself here in this chess with Gibby journey, me being able to teach about chess to other people, because I don't feel like I'm an expert. I'm not an expert. But I've learned so much that's been able to help me, myself, improve. You can see in my Road to 2000 ELO, when I first started, my growth was like, As soon as I started teaching and stuff like that, like, because I just had to learn about those things myself. I learned new things. I reinforced the good things that I already did. I broke the bad habits that I did. It works, guys, I promise. Lesson number 25, take your time and rapid. Every move deserves a pause. kind of going along with the previous mention about how, playing too fast is going to cook you. Even in rapid, let's say you have like somebody, blunders a piece. Don't just auto capture. Crazy, I know. Even like the obvious stuff like the opening, don't. Every single time your opponent makes a move and you think you have, your response, take a pause, calculate a little bit, like just slow down, slow your roll. Every move deserves a pause because you have the time for it, but two, you might just find something better. I cannot tell you how many times I've like thought about auto capturing a move and I like, of course, this is the best move. And then I just like, let me just wait. And I find something even better. It works, I promise you do. If it doesn't, if I'm lying, I'm flying. What can I say? But just try it out. I promise you, it's going to save you at least one game. I promise you it will. If you made it this far in the video, I do appreciate it. I know only about 15 to 20% of people actually make it this far, but shout out to you guys for making it. Bravo, bravo. Thank you very much. I really, really do appreciate it. Seeing you guys' comments on the videos has been like, it's what pushes me to keep doing this. Like, if you look at my eyes right now, I'm cooked in terms of sleep. But, like, this means a lot for you guys to watch these videos and to comment and engage. So I just really want to say thank you. I do enjoy making these videos. There'll be more to come. But other than that, I hope you guys have a great day. Peace.